The saga is finally over. Enrico Cardile has finally joined Aston Martin after a really long, prolonged, dragged out legal battle between his now former team Ferrari and his new current team Aston Martin. How have we got to this point? Why was this such a drawn out battle? What has been the findings from the court and all that? I got everything you need to know here on the F1 Chronicle as always, guys. So here's why this is such a big deal for Aston Martin as well, because they are wanting to be a team that wins world championships, and Cardile is definitely someone who could help with that. I'll explain all here for you guys as always. Enrico Cardile has officially begun work at Aston Martin, ending a protracted legal battle between Ferrari that has delayed his move by more than a year. According to L'Equipe, the renowned French publication, the long-awaited technical transition is now complete. Enrico Cardile is finally a member of Aston Martin, the newspaper declared. Cardile, who spent nearly 2 decades at Ferrari and most recently served as technical director for chassis and aerodynamics, was first linked with Aston Martin midway through last year. But after he left Maranello last July, Ferrari enforced a strict non-compete clause and successfully secured a court order in Modena to block Cardile's early involvement in his new role. That restriction expired last month, and Aston Martin has now confirmed the Italian engineer has started as Chief Technical Officer. We are pleased that a resolution has been reached and that Enrico can continue with the team into 2026 and beyond as Chief Technical Officer, leading our design and technical functions at the AMR Technology Campus, a team spokesperson said. Cardile will work alongside newly arrived engineering icon Adrian Newey as Aston Martin builds a heavyweight technical structure for the sport's major regulation reset next year. Ferrari, meanwhile, has restructured its leadership following Cardile's departure, with Loic Serra, formerly of Mercedes, now overseeing the technical department. So I remember bringing you this story when it first happened a year ago or so, when Cardile was meant to move to Aston Martin, but Ferrari was challenging it in the courts. I mean, we're not privy to what goes on in the courtroom. We're not privy to what goes on in terms of these contract disputes. But given the fact that a court order was produced, you would heavily wager that it would say in his contract that if you leave the team, you can't compete, you can't join another Formula One team for another 12 months. And Aston Martin were hoping to get around that, but unfortunately Ferrari said no. And this is very common in Formula One, particularly for people higher up like this, like a chief technical officer and stuff like that. You need these non-compete clauses. You need these gardening leaves, as a lot of them do put it. Basically, where if you leave the team, you can't work for another team for another 6 months, a year, anything like that. We've had it so many times over the years. Adrian Newey effectively had that as well, where he basically didn't work for the whole of the 2024 season, even though he was still employed by Red Bull. He couldn't join Aston Martin until, March of this year. So he had a whole year of gardening leave because you don't want state secrets to be shared, for lack of a better term. Now, of course, Adrian Newey will still know that Red Bull inside and out, just like Cardile will likely know that Ferrari car inside and out. But his knowledge of it is not as recent and as current as it would be. He wouldn't know as much about the 2025 car or the 2026 car if he actually stayed at Ferrari and kept working for this whole year. But he hasn't done, but he has joined now. So exciting times for Aston Martin. They are really assembling some formidable people in the paddock. But guys, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. How are Aston Martin going to do next year? Works Honda engine, Adrian Newey designed car, Fernando Alonso driving it as well. It seems like a really formidable combination on paper, but in practice, how will it work out? Like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see more of this, guys. And have a fantastic day around the world today, and we'll see you very soon for much more news just like this.